All right, we'll go over to Scott Reynolds.
Hey, Bruce, just wanted to see if you could update us if there's any updates on Jamel Dean, Ali Marpet's situation, just kind of where you stand from a physical standpoint in a short week heading into the game on Sunday.
Yeah, both those guys are still in the protocol. I think Ali's getting closer, but the only other person that missed practice today, Donovan Smith, was his ankle, and AQ Shipley. So we'll see how the week goes. Donovan, he doesn't miss many games, so we'll hope. We've got our fingers crossed he'll make it, and we'll see more on AQ tomorrow.
And can you just speak to the speed that the Chiefs have on offense? It's one thing for a team to have one or two fast guys, right, to have a deep threat or whatever. It just seems like when you look at Hardman and obviously Tyreek Hill and just the different weaponry they have, Kelsey's a fast tight end, just how that speed presents challenges for a defense. Yeah,
they can stretch the field in a lot of different ways, vertically, horizontally. They're good run after the catch guys. They did a great job of building their roster to the type of players they like. You got to throw Sammy Watkins in there who can fly. Every receiver they have can run, and they're built on speed. And and Pat does a hell of a job of distributing the ball to everybody.
Thank you, Bruce.
You bet.
All right, we're going to go over to Jenna Lane.
Hey, Coach, you just spoke about working out Pat Mahomes, and obviously you've got a pretty good working knowledge of your own quarterback, Tom Brady. I know you have obviously more knowledge of Brady because he is your quarterback, but just personality-wise, not just ability-wise, what is it that allows them to just be so highly successful, to be able to come up with these big plays and big moments, these comebacks that they've both orchestrated? What is it about them that's allowed them to succeed so much?
Yeah, I think it starts with they're both extremely smart. They process information very, very quickly, and they're very talented. The day I worked out Patrick, I think the wind was blowing about 35, 40 miles an hour, and it didn't affect his ball at all. So it was amazing down in Lubbock that day.
And you're also a fan, not just of great quarterback play, but great play callers. What can you say about the combination of Pat Mahomes and being an Andy Reid scheme, and what allows that to work so well? I know they've got great players too, but what allows that to work so well?
I think Andy's one of the most innovative guys going. He's got a great history log of different type of plays, and when they fit his personnel, he incorporates them. You're going to have something different every single week, and like most good play callers do.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, we're going to go over to Greg Allman, and then after that, we're going to open it up to Kansas City media.
Hey, Bruce, I want to ask you about the passes to the running backs, and not even so much Monday night's game, but the season as a whole. I know a lot of times when you're throwing to the backs, it's because the first couple options weren't open. But just want to ask why you think that hasn't been more of a success in terms of yardage and moving the chains.
Maybe we dropped too many to start with, but other than that, it's guys are open downfield. They're normally a check down. We do run routes designed for the backs. And they've been successful. So, I think back of a couple different ones that Leonard has had, Carolina the first game, and a couple others where he's done a good job with it. Normally, our screen game has been really good. We just busted the protection on the screen the other night and missed the call that we had made on who was blocking the defensive end. So, they've always been a good part of our offense. Obviously, when they have wide receiver skills, it's different. You can use them a whole lot different.
Bruce, early, like in the Chargers game and a couple of games early, we saw Keyshawn Vaughn on the field and saw some promise from him. As you guys try and figure out that pass catching aspect of it, is he an option for you in these last 5 games?
Just trying to get him active. Right now, we can't have everybody dress as much as I'd love to, and just getting everybody. He's doing a great job. He's working. He's going to be a heck of a player. It's just getting him on the field, getting him on the roster on Sunday, and. Normally we've been dressing 3 backs last week 4 with Kenyon being really a returner. So each week those last 3 or 4 spots are really hard to fill, and he's been getting knocked out of it.
And in choosing that 3rd back, you guys have gone with McCoy consistently, even though he really hasn't been playing. Is that just more trusting him more in an injury situation to take on a big role?
Yeah, he can do everything. He's a veteran player who's been out there, especially on Monday night, Sunday night. It's not no knock at all on Keyshawn, because I think he's going to be one heck of a football player for us.
Okay, thanks, Bruce.
You bet.
All right, now we're going to Kansas City media. We'll start with Sam Melander.
Hey, Bruce. We've seen teams defend the Chiefs differently than they've defended other opponents, particularly in like kind of blitz percentages, blitz ratios. I'm just curious, how do you balance, sort of the need to do what you do well versus, match up with the Chiefs? And is it different against them than it is a more typical opponent?
I think, it is different, mainly because of the speed and the number of weapons, who you're putting in man-to-man, and or if you're doing a lot of blitz zones. So each week is a totally different animal when it comes to that and how they protect. So you still want to get pressure on the quarterback, try to get in his head a little bit as much as possible, but not put yourself in too much jeopardy either.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go over to Adam Teicher for Native Kansas City Media. Please raise your hand.
Hey, Bruce, curious to get your take on this as someone who coached on a couple different Super Bowl winning teams. Why is it so difficult for teams to repeat? What kind of challenges are the Chiefs facing in that regard right now?
I think they have an advantage this year. In years past, that lingers all the way through spring. That Super Bowl hangover lasts a long time. But in this year with no off season and them having everybody back, I think it was over quickly, with the pandemic. So I think, unlike other years where you're getting accolades all the way through training camp, and you're getting rings, and you're getting this, and you're getting that, and you're getting invited to everything, sometimes it can become a distraction for that team. Sometimes the injury bug hits you too, but because guys didn't quite work out as hard as they had in the past years. But I think this year is totally different, and they're obviously a power in the AFC right now.
Okay. Thanks, Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll go over to Sarah Walsh.
Hey, Bruce, you mentioned a couple times just how smart Mahomes is. And I know you always say that the best way to affect a quarterback is to get after him. With a guy that can sort of get things done on the run the way he's been doing, we've seen it before, and especially this year. How do you do that against a guy that's so smart that if you flush him out, he'll make something happen? Yeah,
I think, he's a very unique individual that, you teach young guys never throw it back across the field, but he does it in a ridiculous manner. Sidearm, underhand, and he's very accurate with it. Most guys cannot do that. He has a different skill set than other people as far as throwing back across the field. But you still got to chase him around. You got to plaster downfield. And he also does a great job of running and getting first downs himself. So it's a different, unique challenge when you start chasing him around.
All right, we'll go to Kevin O'Donnell.
Hey, Bruce, JPP hasn't been known to be a guy to pick off a lot of balls. He only had 2 coming into this season, 2 in the last 2 games. What can you say about how he's been playing in that role? And then he predicted that interception on the screen last week.
Yeah, I mean, he's done a great job. I mean, the one against Carolina was outstanding. Dropped right into the zone. This one, he read that screen all the way, and he's playing lights out. I mean, he should be on that Pro Bowl ballot for sure. But, he's getting a lot of pressure. He was one of the best players we had on the field Monday night.
So Todd just finding different ways to utilize him?
As much as we can. We've had him up the middle. We've had him off the edges. We've dropped him, so everything that he can do that we're trying to do it. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, we have time for a few more. We're going to go over to Rick Stroud.
Bruce, just getting back to the quarterback position, because you scout these guys. I mean, we start seeing, guys come out that are like Kyler Murray or Baker Mayfield, or even Russell Wilson's been out now for a while. You don't necessarily see the 6'4". You see these guys that can do things on the run. Is that going to be more and more, you think, what the quarterback position will look like, or will there always be those guys that have to stand in the pocket and deliver?
Yeah, I think each year's so different, Rick. There looks to be some guys that are athletic that are 6'4", coming out. Yeah. The guys like Andrew Luck and Troy Aikman and some of those guys. That they're starting to. I think the all this 7-on-7 summer league, spring leagues, football year round in the last 8-10 years has really started to produce a lot of wide receivers and quarterbacks and guys that can really sling the ball around and then getting into the right systems that fit their skill sets.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to go to Scott Reynolds and then close out with Greg Allman.
Bruce, two quick questions for you. What was your analysis of your scattering report, if you will, on Clyde Edwards-Helaire coming out? And then with regards to penalties, 2 penalties for 7 yards, or I should say on Monday night. You've had 6 weeks now with less than 40 yards of penalties. I know that was a problem early in the season and last year, but can you just speak to the success your guys have had in maintaining the discipline in a week-to-week basis?
Yeah, to start with the penalties, I was still pissed off that they had the 2 because they were big ones. They were big first downs inside the 10. We could have held them to field goals there. That changes the game. So those were offensively, we've done a good job of eliminating pre-snap penalties. And so, yeah, the guys took it upon themselves. I preached about it. When they start preaching it, it usually works. Clyde, yeah, we loved him. We had him rated very, very high on the board and love the way he plays the game. I mean, he is ultimate football player. He's tough tackle, great hands. Reminding me a lot of Drew. Now I'm gonna screw his name up, but Maurice Jones, Drew. Yeah, and but yeah, he's a little faster, I think. I mean, but they are really tough tackles at their size.
Thank you, Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
All right, our last one will come from Greg Allman.
Hey, Bruce, you could end up getting both these guys back healthy on Sunday, but if Allie were still out and if Q couldn't come back from the stinger, you had Stinney in there at left guard at the end of the game Monday night. Would that still be the plan, probably?
Yeah, he would. Yeah, Stinney would go in at left guard, and Ryan would go back to center.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You bet.
All right, that's all today. Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.